Standing between you and a hard place is insane. Standing too near you and a fire makes it clear. Your trouble to me, red trouble, can't you see? Leaning in close, smell of your perfume that scares me most. Leaning away, hey, hey, it feels stronger every day. Your trouble to me, red trouble, can't you see? Good evening, good people. She came on him like slow-moving cold front. His beard was warmer than the look in her eye. She sat on a stool and he said, "What do you want?" She said, "Give me a love that don't freeze up inside." He said, "I have melted some hearts in my time, dear, but to sit next to you, well, I shiver and shake. And if I knew love, well, I don't think I'd be here, asking myself if I've got what it takes to melt your icy blue heart. I don't know that. So wait, no, whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. Good evening. Happy Monday. Have you seen that AI learning lab? You know, it's interesting. He's got a dog that sings. The dog sings beautifully. He's always on key. It's just a fantastic situation. Well, with the exception of the singer, the man part of it. But anyway, so he starts the song, and it's like he's singing along, everything's fine, and then he just like doesn't know the song. It's like, well, why would you play the song if you don't know the song? It's just, I don't understand. Could someone explain to me why people watch this? I can't either. I'm right there with you. Listen, it's a whole fucking situation. It's a whole situation. I've got a dog that's under contract. He has to sing, so I can't not sing. I know 7 songs, and so, we sing what we sing, and then I know 150 almost songs. Oh, good Lord, good people. There's so much we could talk about tonight. I don't even know where to begin. Oh, wait. So first of all, let me flip my little view over here on the TikTok. Hi, TikTokers. Now I'm talking to everyone at the same time. TikTok, what's the date? 13th, 6 more days. I heard today, rumor today is Elon Musk is going to buy TikTok. Mr. Wonderful's trying to buy TikTok. Supreme Court's supposed to weigh in Wednesday. TikTok is... I have avoided the temptation so far of, listen, this platform's going to go away and I'm going to miss all of you. So I'm gonna give it another day or two, see if some things start playing out. But a lot of heartbreak and sadness right now. Everyone's running over to Red Note. So Red Note, if you don't know it, is the actual TikTok owned by the actual Chinese government in Chinese. It's available on the App Store for some reason. Apparently, there's been a mass downloading. Red Note is now like the number 1 or 2 app on the Apple iOS App Store because 170 million people were like, fuck it, let's go to Red Note. You don't want us on a Chinese app? Why don't we go on the one that's actually spying on us? And people are logging in there going, where's my Chinese spy? I want to meet my Chinese spy. Oh, good Lord. So that's happening. Let me get comments up and running here. I am without a producer tonight. So Red Note, not Red Nose. Red as in the Red Army. Red Note. Paranoid people from the 1950s are flipping in their grave right now. What do you mean you're downloading a Chinese app? If you don't know me, if you're brand new here, God love you. God love you. You're just tutored in a little button. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. We do all sorts of things here. If you're here on LinkedIn, you might think like, well, this doesn't seem very professional. You're correct. This is a professional cell phone on my part. I should not be streaming this on LinkedIn, but I have ADD and I'm lazy. And once I got it set up, it's easier just to keep doing it than not. So I figure people on LinkedIn who know of me as a upstanding professional, they'll get over that. They'll find out soon enough. And for those of you not on LinkedIn, if you're on the YouTube, that's going to be the primary home of all this shit. Starting, if TikTok goes away. But right now, I'd say it's kind of 50-50 anyway. We're generally streaming live on TikTok over here and the other 3 platforms, X and LinkedIn. And Alan Hilzebeck is over there on LinkedIn holding down the fort for the professionals. Very nice. I like it. Vicky's putting up some good stuff. So if you're on YouTube, a couple of things we need there. We need plays and we need follows, subscribers. Doesn't cost anything, by the way. I realized I've been asking people to subscribe to YouTube and there's like, hey, how much is that going to cost me, you son of a bitch? It doesn't cost anything. Wait. In a westerly direction, this car is my train. Driving, I've been wondering what it is I'm running from again. Cody X, I play a different video every night. I may or may not be awake for it. Thank you. That's getting the play count up. I think we're pretty close actually, but thank you very much. I think what I'm also gonna do, I mean, here, this is part of the fucked up thing about TikTok going away. So I paid some decent amount of money to download all of my TikTok videos and push them over to Google Drive. So I'll have them all. And then I was going to upload those to YouTube Shorts, but I think YouTube Shorts, don't they have like a 3-minute cap or max? So I don't know. So I guess I'll just do vertical videos as normal YouTube videos, which I think is fucking stupid, but whatever. Love your hair tonight. Oh boy, what have I done? I don't. Oh, yeah, it looks all right. It's a little. Oh, you know what I did? I did a little eyebrow trim with the the eyebrows. I was looking mighty, what's it called? Nutty Professor like. So I did the eyebrows and I did a little bit of trimming on the sides there. I need a haircut. So I just did a little self own on the haircut. Thank you very much. The other thing I started today is I'm just getting too fucking fat. So I started my it's the holidays, I'll just start eating more. I started that like the week before Thanksgiving, and then I have continued that gluttonous eating agenda until this morning. And I was like, fuck it. So I'm starting intermittent fasting today, and I think I'm just gonna have like a green drink for lunch and then just dinner. And I'm just gonna do that until this body feels less ridiculous. I know from out there, because of all the prosthetics and the makeup, that it looks like I'm fucking jacked. But situation is, if you saw me stand up, you'd go, "Oh my!" It could be a shocking moment. Corey Sandler, hey Kyle, some of my TikTok lives are 7, 8, 9 hours. Oh, you're insane at the Potter's Wheel. I know, Corey, what are we supposed to fucking do with all this content? And I mean, one of the answers is let it go, right? C'est la vie. We got, there's part of it's that. You know, the thing that kind of baffles me, this really does kind of baffle me, is that what is it that TikTok did that is so different than Reels and Instagram, whatever the fuck they do, or YouTube Shorts and all those? They're all effectively the same thing. I mean, I guess it was the algorithm, right? Just showing people shit that they might like instead of their social graph. His Blanton's a green drink. Yes, I will include it in that. It wasn't image-based to start, but video-based. Yeah, but YouTube Shorts was that, although I guess YouTube Shorts came later. And YouTube was kind of like, old people video. I don't know. And Twitch certainly has this for gamers, right? So if you're wondering what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about agents, I think. I think I might do a little exploring with Runway ML, with character generation stuff. I've been working on a project for work and digging a bit deeper on Runway ML and Act 1. And man, it takes some work, but what you can do if you put in the work is pretty stunning. So we can go look at that. Brandon would be excited to know, maybe we'll play with some Jelly Pod, which is a podcast maker that's kind of like Notebook LM, but you get to choose the voices. And then Vicky just sent me another one that is similar to that, that's open source, which looks interesting. And what would be cool is if I showed the thing Vicky sent me and not Brandon's. Brandon can watch this later and get bitter about it. And I think that's funny. Thank you, Lord Digital Gods. Thank you for the roses. The open source one is called, well, it's on fal.ai, FAL.ai. And then it's called Play AI. So fal.ai /models. Here's how I'll do this. Copy that. So if I put this here and do that and do that, there it is right there on the screen, on the big screen. All right. Don't worry about Brandon. He's a big boy. Vicky's already thrown him under the bus. Brandon, it's like your seat isn't even, it's still warm. It's still, there's like a Shakespearean drama over here. All right. I did a Google deep research thing on AI agents as well. So over on the AI Salon, I shared that research document, which I think it's pretty fucking amazing. Google deep research, if you have not played with it or if you have not experienced it, it's pretty fucking insane. So if you stick around, I'll give you the location of that thing. Hang on, my glasses are like Champy took a dump on them. What is it with glasses? Like, you don't touch them, right? They're just on your desk, and you put them on your desk, and they're clean, and then you pick them up and put them on, and it's like someone took a dump on the lenses. When does that happen? Are there like fingerprint fairies that just run around like I'll get this one really deep. What the fuck? Good Lord. Camcat kid. All right. What can you say about the AI diffusion rule from today? I don't know anything about that. What did I miss? Hang on. Hold, please. AI diffusion rule. This thing? Biden administration proposes new rules on exporting AI chips. Is that from today? No. Oh, it is. Well, the horse is already out of the fucking barn. Did you see there's a new model today? Is it a coding model? Or over the weekend it came out. It was a coding model that they trained on $450 of compute that is like as good as O1 preview. It's like benchmarking as good as O1 preview, trained on $450 of compute. The only thing that okay, provoking an industry pushback. So I don't know anything about this, but it's like it just seems to me it's like, well, okay, so China's kicking our ass because our last exporting rule where we hobbled the chips that went to China forced them to innovate, so they got better at working with shittier chips. like at some point someone's going to recognize that we've oh fuck, like I don't even know where to start. It's the fact that we have zero federal activity about AI regulation. They're pushing it all to the states. They're just ignoring it federally. And they're pushing it all to the states. And they're allowing the states, like Colorado that went first on this, to pass really shitty, overbroad rules that are regulating the tech and not the use cases, which every time you do that, it's a bad situation. And the states, because they are like radically uneducated about what's actually going on with AI. They're just passing laws so they can go, we're out there protecting you people. It's good. This is what the politicians are like. Hear ye, fellow citizens. We understand that the AI robots are going to kill you, and therefore, and China's evil, and except for when they're not. But we're going to never give them the good stuff, but on a state-by-state level, we will prevent you from using AI so that it protects your interests, unless, of course, you're an entrepreneur, and then good luck with that. And by the way, how do you determine whether a piece of AI technology is being used in this state or that state? Well, you as the entrepreneur can figure that out. You're clever. This is our fucking legislation. We got the most profoundly powerful technology in the history of humanity. And we're like, we'll figure it out sometime. Good Lord. Good Lord, people. All right. Hang on. He seems a little aggressive tonight. I don't understand what's going on, but he certainly does not seem stable. Senator Ed Markey, this is from Jim Walters. Various posts a few hours ago, Senator Ed Markey filed a bill to extend the deadline of TikTok for another 270 days. So you're saying we got a chance. I believe in the fingerprint sprites. Very nice. Glass is one of life's great mysteries. Summarize it in ChatGPT. Oh, that's a great idea. All right, let's go do that. And we'll do copy here. Hang on. We'll go share this with all of the world to see. We'll put the black bar back up because I'm a professional. And then we'll go over. Wait. Dang it. There we go. Black bar back over here. Yeah, that's working. 01 and 02 reasoning models are amazing, except 02 is now called 03, but yes, they retired the chatbots I made several months ago. Yeah, I know, it's pretty amazing. And people that are playing with 03 or 01 Pro are saying that it's quite amazing. That's the $200 a month thing. Let's see. Summarize this article. Thinking. I'm unable to access links externally. That's because let's see. Try now. Let's see what it says here. The Biden administration has introduced new regulations to restrict the export of advanced artificial intelligence chips, aiming to prevent adversarial nations, China, from acquiring cutting-edge U.S. technology. Have you noticed that every Chinese model comes out about 3 or 4 weeks after the US model comes out, and it's the exact same fucking thing? You don't think they have access to our technology? These, the more I learn about politics, the more I realize, oh, it's just all fucking PR. These measures target high-performance semiconductors. Okay, Department of Commerce's Bureau of Industry and Statistics, BIS, will oversee these controls. Fine. Industry leaders have expressed concerns that these restrictions could hinder innovation and competitiveness. They argue that limiting access to international markets may reduce revenue. That's it. Fascinating. So they're saying don't take revenue away from NVIDIA, or if we ever get our shit together. Affecting research developments and investments. Well, I understand the reason to try to protect the U.S. interests. Like, we've got a fuck ton of a lead, and we've got a lead in energy generation as well, I think. The administration contends that these measures are necessary to prevent the misuse of AI technology in military applications and human rights abuses. By controlling the distribution of advanced AI chips, how about passing some fucking reasonable AI legislation at the federal level here? Fucking idiots. And I mean fucking idiots in the most positive possible light. Is this a place I can rest my poor head? To gather my thoughts in sweet silence. There's this place where the feelings on dead. From an overexposure to violence. Where's Champy? Champy already sang. Champy's sleeping. He did his union minimum, and he is checked out of the building. Oh. All right. So here's what I'd like to do. What are we gonna do? So here, okay. Hang on. Just bear with me. Bear with me. Self-production here. Self-producing. Clueless. Okay. If you've not gone to the AI Salon, if you've not joined the AI Salon, you should do that. Go to the salon.ai, scroll down until you see a button that says join our community. Click that button. It doesn't cost you anything. We did over the holidays, you may have heard of this thing called AI Festivus, AI for the rest of us. We did that. We partnered up with Ann Murphy and the She Leads AI community. We put on this 2-day workshop-a-thon, had 2,300 people show up over 2 days on a holiday weekend. That's AI Salon. And we just spent the weekend, Vicky Baptiste and Leah and I and Eric Sanner showed up, I'm pretty sure. Hang on a sec. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. There we go. All right. So here's the AI Salon. Now, over here on the left-hand side, there's a couple of things. So there's a welcome area. So when you first get to the AI Salon, you land on the welcome. There's a welcome video from Leah Faston and I. We co-founded the salon. And then we talk about the journey to AI readiness, which looks like play first, mindfully create, generously lead, which I love that little, this was sort of born of how this community acts and what we do. And then there's a little 7-step onboarding process. You sort of log in, learn about us, introduce yourself, check out our values. Curiosity, playfulness, empathy, bravery, generosity, what we're all about. You can watch past meetings if you want to see. We've been doing this since December 7th, 2022. So the AI Salon was founded the week after ChatGPT came out. You can RSVP for upcoming events. You can go into the water cooler. And if you go into the water cooler, one of the areas you can go is this thing called discussion threads. And if you click on that, the very first one is that research document that I created using Gemini Deep Research. So this is a list of AI agent platforms from no code to low code to go build your own shit. And with it's a pretty cool little research thing that Google Deep Research did. And then there's all sorts of other stuff. And there's a news area. There's a show and tell area where you can show off your work. It's called Show Off and Toolbox, where you can show off images you've made or GPTs that you've made, whatever it might be. Oh, that's really nice from CJ. Very cool. So you can go show off your work. And then within each of these sections is a tool list of all the different tools that are worth checking out. And then we used to have what we called guilds, but here's what we did. Some of the guilds, there were too many of them. They were confusing. We weren't sure where to put them. And what we realized was that what the guilds were effectively acting as is like clubs or sub-communities or hubs within the space. So there's now just sort of this show-off area where you show off your work, and then there's clubs and hubs. So there's AI Festivus was, that event we did. So there's a club for that. There's a club for the irregulars, which is this group. These clubs are ordered by level of activity. So for those that run clubs, if you get more people to use your club, you'll go up higher in the list, which is kind of fun. And it just makes the space a lot more simple. But there's so much going on here. It's so valuable. So go check all this out. All right. And then in the water cooler, under discussion threads, that's where this, this Google Doc is. Navigating the AI agent landscape. Categories of AI agent platforms. No code, low code, developer-focused platforms. And then it describes them, benefits, links to the site, tutorials for that particular thing, videos, insights. Now, are these the right ones? I don't know. I just had Google Deep Research go do all this, but it went out and it searched like 250 websites and then made this report. So there you have it. It's Google Deep Research is pretty fucking cool. But anyway, so that's all in there. So if you want to go start learning about autonomous agent platforms, I think now's a good time to do that. Okay, so I want to talk about why I believe that is the case. Let me go find something here. Let me while I'm searching, let me just do this. Any questions? Any thoughts, questions, comments? Love Serena's graphic. I do too. One-stop shop for AI. Thanks for this. You're welcome. You're welcome, Kavruno. Yeah, this was one where so agents have become the talk du jour. And if we think the government is ill prepared, I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's fucking tragic. Like there should be a law that lawmakers can't be this fucking clueless for something this important. But here we are. If we think that legislators and people are ill prepared for the current state of AI, I have a feeling 2025 is going to be a fantastical popcorn eating, movie watching extravaganza. Kavruno, oh, you had your Minnesota meeting today. That's right. Who was there? It was Lori Ryan, Chris Bruno, and someone else. Who was the third person that was there? Chris. Oh, Kakif, that's right. That's right. That's right, Kaki. And Kaki. So I talked to the people that organized that event, and they said it was a hit. Guys were amazing. They said there's actually a follow-on opportunity. So great. So about 3 weeks ago, there was an AI education event for Oregon legislators that Ann Murphy went and represented the AI Salon. And today there was one in Minnesota. And what's amazing about these events is um, the thing about the AI Salon is not only is it really nice people and really generous people and really smart people, but it's people that are kind of impressive. and and I you know I sometimes forget that like we're just kind of hanging out talking about AI and we're asking good questions and things like that. But we're doing it on a daily basis. And if you take people who are really established professionals and over the course of 2 years they just sort of immerse themselves in a topic and they take their professionalism and they sort of route it through that topic. We're some of the most educated, impressive, badass people around this idea of generative AI. Not AI, traditional AI so much, but more like now that ChatGPT is here, and now that real people and real small businesses are confronting what these tools are, and we're learning what's possible. We're like, you legislators need to fucking deal with that. And what's been the result of 2 out of 2 of these meetings this year is that AI Salon people have showed up, educated the legislators, and the legislators have left those meetings going, we got to get our shit together. So thank you to all 3 of you today for doing that. The spirit of the salon is also, I reached out to these guys because these things come up pretty quickly, like they're sort of happening in real time. I reached out to these guys 7 days ago, and all 3 of them said, yeah, I'm in. Let me go do it. So awesome. I heard it went great, and I didn't get a chance to get a note out. So thank you for representing the salon. That's so awesome. So awesome. Karuna, we're decent at how to operationalize AI in various sectors. And Chris, it's not just how to operationalize it. It's not just that. You can sit across a table, and when someone is uneducated about what it even is, you can hear them, not get defensive, educate the room, elevate the conversation above fear into possibility. And then you can talk about, and here's how you operationalize it, right? It's like you can do that too, but it's like there's a much more fundamental skill right now, which is there's a lot of fear and loathing around AI, and being in the presence of people that are like, no, you don't get it. Yeah, there might be risks, but there's all this other stuff no one's talking about. It's opportunity, it's optimism, it's people reinventing themselves, it's people coming out of retirement. Right? That was the other thing that the folks that organized it said today, which I thought was really cool, is they were like, like all 3 of them were like, basically what they said was like Gen Xers, like there were there were no young people there. I'm telling you, Gen X is crushing it with AI. Like there's something about our ability to be a pain in the ass, our ability to have recognized that we saw this with the World Wide Web, and now we're getting to see it again with AI. We're like, ooh, this one's bigger. And I think we've just got a spirit of let's screw some shit up here. I'm really excited about that. So anyway, that's awesome. All right. Silver Fox, I'm so excited to be a part of the AI Salon and learn so much. It's a great group. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Jeff Flanagan digging into Futurepedia today. Lots to unpack there. Too much to unpack there. So much to unpack there. Khaki, and how do we leave a seat at the table? And how do we leave a seat at the table for oppressed communities? We got to get them. We got to get them in the conversation, Kaki. I mean, that's the deal. It's one of the things I'm most excited about with AI is that it gives everyone a chance to dramatically level up their skills, no matter what their access, including, you know, a lot of accessibility stuff is going to be bridged. So I think the tools are there, but it's, you know, how we get people at the table is we get people at the table. You know, we've got CJ Fletcher within the salon has got Luck Cultura, where he's got a group within the AI Salon that are exploring, you know, people of color, and how they can use these tools, how they can express themselves, how they can drive things like that. So I think it's like, I think that is an active conversation. How do you get people in the conversation? You get them in the fucking conversation. I don't think it's any different than, you know, what we do here. I don't specifically target oppressed communities here, but I think it's what this activity is, just aimed at different audiences, right? Talk about it, demystify it, figure it out, have fun with it, play, explore, experiment, all that sort of stuff. Kavruno, the cool guy from the governor's office, was very engaged with cool use cases. Use cases are the bridge to get people to understand what's possible. Getting involved right now is how to get to the table. I mean, that's so Ripsy, you've got it where it's like, we are so early right now. It may not feel like we're early, but trust me, we, having been through one of these before in the 90s, we're early. There are so many people that don't even know what's happening, like don't even have a clue what is possible today. They don't have a clue what was possible 2 years ago. They have less of a clue what's possible today. They have no idea what's about to hit them with autonomous agents. Anything we can do to get anyone into this conversation right now will give them disproportionate opportunity and have a disproportionately positive impact on whatever this industry becomes. Rachel, thank you, Rachel. Right, Rizipsy. Same experience, and I completely agree. What is possible today is so impactful, and it's right here. Yeah, it is. It is here today. Like every time I do something now, like that research thing that I just shared. Oh, the thing that's on screen right now. Hang on, let me pop that down and go back to this. This research thing, it took Google Deep Research about, I don't know, 10 minutes to process this. But, you know, here's a 16-page research document on autonomous AI platforms, you know, with citations. like you can just do that now. Well, in this case, you have to have a subscription to it, and you have to use an individual Google account, because if you've got a Google work group account, you're considered a pariah. If you pay Google, they hate you. But like this thing's amazing. Here, let me show you. Where can I show you something here? If I go to Runway. We're working on a project for a client. Generative session. Is it this one? Let me change my sharing so you can hear this. So this is like a virtual sales rep named Michelle.
3, 2, 1. Hello, my name's Michelle, your virtual sales rep. It's great to connect with you. Our digital platform allows you to get the latest updates on our products and services, order samples and patient savings cards, and access educational resources to keep you informed and prepared for evolving healthcare needs. 3, 2.
I mean, like, she doesn't exist. The voice doesn't exist. That, like, I actually did the voice acting for this and the face acting for this, and then swapped in her voice. You know, we can do this today. Like this, we can do today. No special effects. You know, me sitting at a computer, like, hey, welcome. I'm your virtual sales rep. It's just amazing. So, all right. I want to go find something so we can talk. I want to talk. Love Runway ML to create 30-second promo videos for my clients. That's Jim Ross from Self Storage, from 3 Mile Storage. Jeff Flanagan, I'll be introducing AI to a homeschool nearby in a few days. Parent teachers fully on board. That's awesome. That's fantastic. All right. Can you explain the $450 thing mentioned earlier? Oh, yeah. Hang on. Search 01 $450 should do it. Yeah. Ba 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 da 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 la da da la da da la da da. Sky-T1 open large language model beats O1 preview. Sky T1, an open reasoning large language model trained with just $450 of large language model. I mean, I assume that means trained with $450 of compute. To Pate's point, it is highly likely that this is a fine-tuned model based on something else that costs significantly more than $450, right? So this isn't just, but whatever they did here, they've got a 32 billion parameter model, which in large language model, oh wait, I'm not sharing this. Hang on. Damn it. Maybe share your screen. Vicky needs a shot collar. I tried Jelly Pod this weekend. Brandon would be proud. Very nice. Yeah, so here's the Sky T1 beats O1 preview in some benchmarks. Right? Cost them $450 to fine tune this thing. Again, I don't know a ton about this, but a 32 billion parameter model is small, right? Big large language models are 405 billion parameters. 32 billion is the size you can start running these things locally on your hard drive, right? So imagine having something as good as O1 Preview, which O1 Preview had an IQ of about 120. I think O3 has an IQ of about 157. So imagine having a 120 IQ problem solving, super knowledgeable entity running off your local hard drive. You don't have to go out on the internet anywhere. So that's that. All right. Okay. I guess that shock collar didn't arrive in time. It didn't. Yeah, that's impressive, isn't it, Trench? I know. It's bonkers. Okay, let me go find something else here. I want to go find. I'm trying to think which one I want to read first. Okay, I know which one I want to read first. There were 2 posts I read today, back to back, that I've kind of known what's coming with autonomous agents, but they really solidified for me that something different is we're about to embark on something quite different. So let me go find the one. So I'm on David Shapiro's at Dave Shap, SHAPI, Shapiro, just Dave Shappy. There's Ethan Mullock. There's that one. Is this? No, that's not it. It's this one. Is this it? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to push this in close so you guys can read. Okay. So, Kimonismus Chubby, who's a AI commentator, and she said, the news that Meta wants to replace mid-level engineers is spreading. We're talking six-figure salaries here, people, and Meta wants to replace them completely. And this was from Zuckerberg, probably in 2025. We at Meta, as well as other companies that are basically working this, are going to have an AI that can effectively be a sort of mid-level engineer that you can have at your company that can write code. So that's Zuckerberg just talking about, what they're doing at Meta. All right. Can everyone see? Do I have everything set up correctly? I think I do. Hang on a sec. And then David Shapiro responded to this. And I want to read through his post because it there's a level of clarity in it that I really appreciate. But it's a big deal. It's a big deal. If you don't know David Shapiro, he has been an AI researcher for years. He has been, a guy that does, high level systems troubleshooting for his day job and wrote 5 books on AI. He's done a number of cognitive architectures, open source projects to do AI cognitive architectures. And about 3 or 4 months ago, he quit AI. And he didn't quit AI like, I'm just done with it. I'm out of here. Screw you, people. He quit AI like they've figured it out. That based on his knowledge and knowing what's coming, that he realized that him doing any more research on this was pointless because they basically figured it out and they've gotten it right. And if you listen to the engineers coming out of OpenAI right now, they're no longer talking about AGI. They're now talking about ASI, right? Sam Altman basically said, we now know, we're not speculating, we know how to get to AGI. And what we're up to now is getting to ASI. And if you don't know those two acronyms, AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, where the AI is as good or better than most people at most economically viable jobs. That's AGI. ASI is super intelligence, where these things become smarter than all the humans, the best possible human in every possible category. Super intelligence, right? So we are on a path right now for that. So here's what Shapiro wrote in response to Meta's going to replace mid-level and below engineers with autonomous agents. So David Shapiro, let me lay this out fresh, because after years of building cognitive architectures, I've learned something fascinating about intelligence versus agency. Everyone's hyping up AI agents like they're the next breakthrough, but they're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle that took me way too long to figure out. Here's what threw me for a loop. Raw intelligence isn't the same as knowing what to do about it. Think about it. Chatbots were relatively straightforward because they were just waiting for humans to start the conversation. Give them a prompt, they'll dazzle you with their smarts. I call this the genius in the jar phase. But true agency, that's where things get spicy. Okay. So we're in the genius in the jar phase with current LLMs, right? They're super smart, but they require us to deal with them. And one of the things that I hear, unable to verify. Hang on, sorry, I'm having TikTok is making me do physical dexterity mind games. Okay, I did it. Great. He quit because he's suffering from an autoimmune condition as well, but AI helped fix it. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny, Danielle. He quit AI, but like all he talks about now is AI. So he's moved from researcher to commentator, which I think that makes sense to me. Okay. But true agency, that's where things get spicy. The real challenge hit me one day on building cognitive architectures. You're sitting there with this incredibly powerful system that can think about literally anything, and you suddenly realize, wait, how does it decide what to think about? It's like having infinite processing power but no executive function. As a card-carrying ADHD member with no executive function, I I resonate with this. So current AI is like ADD, right? All this capability, no way to focus it. That's hilarious. Okay, the human brain handles this naturally, but programming it, that's a whole different ballgame. You'd think that solving the what to do problem would be straightforward with enough computing power, right? Wrong. I've had to dive deep into ethics and philosophy just to create a basic decision framework. Utilitarianism, theology, deontology, thrown throw all that in and you've barely scratched the surface, because then you need to build out the entire model of what an agent can do, what it can't do, what it should and shouldn't do, and most importantly, why. That's the agent model layer. Okay, that's important for the next thing I'm about to show you. It's got to know what I am and how do I work before it can start even using its digital hands. I call this the constraints, capabilities, and context, or 3Cs of the agent model. And just when you think you're getting somewhere, you hit the broader context problem. Your agent needs to understand its environment, available tools, specific tasks, access levels. And we haven't even touched on goal tracking and task prioritization yet. So again, this is a guy that's built these systems, right? It's like trying to build Jarvis from scratch and realizing why Turing never cracked this part of the puzzle. Alan Turing, the Turing test, I'll know computers have reached intelligence when I can have a conversation with one and not be able to tell the difference if it's a human or if it's a machine, right? That Turing. This is why Turing never cracked this part of the puzzle, which is the how do you use this intelligence? Resource utilization, keeping track of what you need and have, and how close you are to solving the actual problem. LLMs can do each of these steps no problem, but coordinating it all a bit harder. That's what makes today's LLM so interesting. Let me see. Let's see, there's comments here. Shapiro pioneered the hierarchical framework, well, for me, in which the agents have an upstairs office that deals with the human in the loop. Yeah, exactly. Yes, AI can write code, but that AI that writes code cannot do my job. It doesn't have the ability to insert itself agentically into what already exists. Exactly. Okay. What else do we have here? Any other comments? Okay. That's what makes today's LLM so interesting. They're still narrow AI in their operation, but they're packing some serious general intelligence. So when he talks about they're still narrow AI, what he's talking about is classical AI. You would take a narrow task like beating a chess grandmaster or diagnosing one specific kind of cancer, and you would train an AI on that, and it would just have this narrow expertise. What David's saying here is, even though today's large language models have this general knowledge capability, they're narrow AI because they still require us to figure out what to do with them. Okay. They're still narrow AI in their operation, but they're packing some serious general intelligence features under the hood. World models, reasoning, planning, problem solving, it's all baked in. But true agency, that's still the holy grail we're chasing. True agency. These things being able to do it on their own. That's the holy grail we're chasing, and it's not necessarily just the model, it's the rest of the body, so to speak. Okay, think about it. If your brain was just floating in a jar somewhere, no eyes, ears, or hands, you couldn't really do anything either. To make matters a bit more confusing, AI agents exist in cyberspace where what they see and hear is just too different from our meat space context, right? And their hands are API calls. So he's basically saying, like, we don't know how to use, we don't know how to give these brains in a jar bodies, right? Okay. And then here's how he closes it up. Look, here's the punchline that most people haven't wrapped their heads around yet. We cracked this problem. This is one of the reasons he quit AI. Here's the punchline most people haven't wrapped their heads around yet. We cracked this problem. Those years of research into cognitive architectures and agent frameworks weren't just academic exercises. We were building the foundation for something exponentially bigger than anything we've seen before. The real kicker, once you've got one working agent system, you don't just have one, you've got the potential for billions. So take it in. So what he's saying is we've got this brain in a jar. What we haven't figured out, well, the hardest problem to figure out is how do you give that brain in the jar, the body, the ability to go do shit? That's the part he's saying we've cracked. And he says if you crack it for one agent, you've effectively cracked it for all of them. Okay? The same agent perfectly replicated, operating at scale across every digital system on Earth. Copy, paste, repeat. We're not just talking about replacing a few mid-level engineers here and there. We're talking about a tsunami of artificial executive function that's about to reshape every industry, every workflow, every digital interaction. The people tweeting about 2025 aren't being optimistic. If anything, they might be understating it, just how fast this is going to move once it starts. The dominoes are already following, and trust me, you're going to want to be ready when they hit. We should all print out this paragraph and like hang it by our desk. They've already cracked the problem. And once they release it, and if they do it for one agent, they've effectively done it for all the agents. Okay? Questions, thoughts? It feels like the universe just got a lot bigger. Yeah, well, wait till you see what I show you next. I have convos with GPT all the time. It knows a lot, but it doesn't provide insights that we can. Well, don't. So listen, sacred is profane. Don't assume that that's going to be the case for much longer. Like, that's exactly what he's talking about here. His whole point is that these things are smart, but they're limited because they require us to make that kind of decision making and insight and understanding. That's about to change. And it's about to change kind of instantly and overwhelmingly. It's not like you're going to get one agent and then 3 months later you'll have 10 agents, and then no, this is going to be like once it happens, it's just they're going to start to proliferate. And then as those agents start figuring out the other kinds of agents that need to be built and the other kind of frameworks that need to be built, they're going to proliferate even faster. Okay. Got it? Cool, right? It's a big deal. It is a big deal. Jeff Flanagan. It's a big deal. Okay. All right, let me go find this other thing I want to find. This is Robert Scoble. He forwards a lot of shit. It might take me a second to find this. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Is it? Did he do it as a? Okay, this one. Okay. If you don't know who Robert Scoble is, he's been an Apple fanboy for years. He's a San Francisco-based, technology reporter, and he is deeply entrenched in the scene in Silicon Valley. He was there for the first, I think he said it, Siri was launched in my home. I live streamed the first ride in the first Tesla ever, right? Like, this is a guy that's connected. So what he writes, this will be the most important video I've ever done. This is a guy that's been making videos and making posts and being on the forefront of what's coming from a technological standpoint for like 35 years. That first sentence, that doesn't land lightly on me, because he's not a bullshitty kind of guy. Like, if he thinks something sucks, he thinks it sucks. Now, when he goes all in on something, like he's all in on the holodeck and, and Google or Apple Vision Pro and all that sort of stuff. So there's things he goes all in on that you may or may not agree are going to be a big thing, but he's not a guy that says stuff like this too often. So this will be the most important video I've ever done. And again, in the context of, I had just read the David Shapiro post, and then I read that sentence, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? History will be the judge, but I'm pretty good at figuring out the future. Each of my 7 books properly predicted decade-long trends. My first on social media was written before Twitter X even started. Keep in mind, Siri was launched in my home. I have streamed the first ride ever of the first Tesla. I've had many other firsts, but this is the beginning of a new operating system. The guy that created Amazon's marketplace, which is the main reason Amazon is a profitable company today, this will be a hugely important technology, and you could only learn about it here. The Accenture booth at CES was not open to the public. You had to be invited in. I am the first to take you behind the scenes. And Jensen announced NVIDIA was partnering with Accenture on robot orchestration. This is it. So CES report video 28. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change my sharing so that you can hear this, and we're going to listen to this video. And if anyone's still here, you don't have to still be here. If you're not here, I understand. I think this shit's really important. To the David Shapiro thing, be prepared. Like, how do you be prepared? I don't know. You watch shit like this and you try to get your head around it. Like, I can't quite get my head around this. The guy that we're about to meet, not this guy, but the skinnier guy he talks to in a second, is the guy that wrote DOS, like the disk operating system that Microsoft bought and turned into Microsoft. That's the guy who started the company that they're talking about right now. That guy right there. That's him. All right. So here we go.
We're backstage at the Accenture booth. This is the
That's Robert
messy part
Scoble.
of CES that you never usually see. How the nerds are running the world. And who are
Paul
you?
Steckler. I'm one of the lead nerds, ex-Microsoft, Amazon, and I'm the COO of Autonoma, and we do the Paranet, which does all the orchestration for the demo that you're going to see a little bit later.
So hold on a second, because Paranet's, I drove to Seattle to see Paranet and understand it. This is a new network protocol that arranges or organizes, orchestrates drones, robots, autonomous vehicles,
And human beings. We pull
We
human beings, and you're going to see that in the demo later, where Alan will actually fault in for a robot, and the robot will fault in for Alan seamlessly. So this is a distributed, asynchronous operating system. Jim Hardy, our founder over here, who you've seen on a video.
I met with him at his house.
Philip over here is the brains behind the operation.
Yeah,
Brian's running all the robotics today on our side of the house.
yeah,
We've got our great partners, Agility Robotics, over here.
yeah.
They do
Hey
one of
there.
the coolest robots you're ever going to see. This is Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't say
Okay.
badass on air, but I just did.
Now, the thing we're going to see up front is a warehouse of the future, right?
It's a work cell in a warehouse of the future. And then we're going to also see the real life version of that being orchestrated. Then we'll see an NVIDIA Omniverse version where that starts to zoom out and integrate multiple warehouses.
Yeah. This has impacts on not just warehouse. We were talking about the fires
Where are the
in
women?
Malibu that just burned down a community,
Yeah.
right?
Sorry, Corey.
And you guys
It's
have
still
some
Bro
expertise
Central in
that,
San
right?
Francisco.
Brian has a geospatial background. We did a bunch of aerial imaging. We used to fly for FEMA and other first responders. And so what we're going to be partnering with coming up in the next year or two is drones and drone manufacturers to be able to do that distributed, get there where you need them at the time you need them. Same with hurricanes. We used to fly hurricanes right after the aftermath, and you've got no infrastructure. So how do you get infrastructure quickly, right? Starlink is one answer, but then Starlink to drones, trying to help the first responder.
So the conversation going on right now on TikTok about, where the women, nerds are asking the same thing. Where are the women at? Yeah, the nerds just want to date, right? I was just thinking, how would women influence this scene? So here's what, one of the things I am most excited about with the AI Salon community and this community here is the generative AI scene. So you got to realize these guys are sort of what you'll see here. This thing that they're talking about is at the protocol level, like at the IP protocol level. It's more of a bro scene. Do I wish there were more women in it? Yeah, I wish there were more women in it. But the generative AI thing that requires empathy to be good at it is where I think women are kicking ass. The fact that we had 3 women representing the AI Salon and educating our politicians about AI today makes my heart really warm. But these are very different layers. The layer that we're talking about here is this fundamental protocol level. We'll get to what this is about in a second. It's only 15 minutes, so they get into, they're just kind of shooting the shit right now, but they start getting into what the Paranet is here in a second. But yeah, we need more fucking women in it. But anyway, I think that because generative AI is a language and empathy. Like if you are more empathetic, you're actually better at generative AI than people that are not. And I think this is an opportunity for people that have good empathy skills to really step into their fucking power. And that I'm super excited about. So let's distinguish that a bit. But yeah, is the tech industry still bro fucking rific? Yep, it sure is.
This Paranet.
Yeah, turn up the volume on this when I start again. Sure.
Though it has impacts on everything from a music festival that's going to need autonomous cars to get to it, a warehouse where you're going to need to control a bunch of robots and humans working together. What does Paranet do that is really magic here? And why am I here? Because I'm here to.
Wait, Shane Saw said, I love working with creative women. Then he drew an arrow pointing to himself, reluctant empath. I'm telling you, man, the again, it's like revenge of the liberal arts majors. Like if you're good at people, you're going to be good at this stuff. Okay. It's more like cisrific. Yeah. Well, yeah, that too. U.S. women are infiltrating it. Okay, here we go. So now he's going to talk about what the Paranet is. Yeah, Paranet, Paranet, and think internet, Paranet. You'll hear in a second. This is way down at the protocol level, is what these guys are building. But once you understand what the fuck they're talking about, combined with what David Shapiro just said, all of a sudden you go, holy shit! Like this is coming and it's coming fast. Okay, here we go. Wait, who's the guy on the salon? T-Todd Skier. Who's the guy on the salon talking about discovering AGI 1.1? I don't know. He left. He was not he was not living the values of the salon, so he's no longer there. I don't know what he was talking about, and he was not willing to share it. So that's no longer An active conversation.
To see Paranet orchestrating all of these
The biggest thing it
nerds.
does is it can orchestrate in a heterogeneous fashion almost anything. So this is the critical piece, right?
It can orchestrate in a heterogeneous fashion almost anything. Okay, go on.
Humans, robots, computers, enterprise workflow. When you're at that, Coachella, and you've got bottlenecks of people trying to come through a facility, right? Well, why wouldn't you just automatically open up other gates that actually could have like CV security and just monitor the flow and move it back and forth instead of bottlenecking the way it happens to.
Right. So they'll get more into this, but like what he's talking about here is, imagine if all of the systems of the world, that includes humans and systems that don't normally talk to one another, what if those systems could all talk to one another dynamically? That's what they're talking about here.
Okay, I'm not a big Coachella guy. I don't look like a Coachella.
No, I went, and they have 3,000 Uber cars driving people around with humans.
So,
someday soon, there's going to be
Uber's
autonomous networks, right?
Uber is
Whether it's
great example.
Waymo or Tesla, and it's robotaxi, right?
Imagine surge pricing, except for your goal isn't necessarily to charge more, but to in fact get more people through.
Yeah.
Make more people happy.
What is it actually doing, and why is this new kind of network protocol really? It's a smart
You should probably
network.
turn it to Jim for the.
Hey Jim, come on over.
Here's Jim.
How does this work, and why do we need a new network protocol for this new robotic autonomous age that we're heading into?
So there's like 9,000 languages, right?
Yeah.
It's been documented. There's 4,000 protocols.
So 9,000 computer languages, 4,000 protocols. So think TCP, IP, HTTP, those are all protocols. 9,000 languages, 4,000 protocols.
What's missing has been this protocol stack called the OSI stack with 7 layers on it forever. And we know that the internet really isn't secure. We have to kind of plug and patch things and buy a bunch of software. And there's $9.5 trillion worth of cyber crime in the world, which is just going to grow with AI. So we saw this as a problem. We saw that it's not just going to be humans using the internet anymore. It's going to be machines using the internet.
Pate Motter, how many of those are in use? 9,000 is silly. Well, 9,000 is silly, Pate, until you've got like some obscure language that's running some control system at a nuclear power plant that needs to be interfaced with. That's what he's talking about, is the ability to interface, the ability to coordinate things across domains that currently doesn't exist, and do it in a secure
Well, if
way.
the machines are using the internet, how are they talking to each other? So what if you create a new protocol at a new layer? So what we did, what most people don't realize is when the web came out, the internet had been out since 1983, TCP/IP, right? And we had email, SMTP, all these protocols. When the web came out, HTTP, it allowed you to transfer HTML from a server to a client, and the rest is history. There's billions of people using these things. And all kinds of other protocols are out there for doing, IIoT, and Modbus, and MQTT, and so forth. And those are all good protocols. They all say nothing changes. So the IP infrastructure of the internet as it exists today, nothing changes, but it's broken from a security and trust standpoint. So we said, let's create a new overlay. An overlay, like the web is an overlay. When you use Zoom, it's an overlay. Only you and your friends are talking in Zoom. No one else gets in. Why can't we create a network overlay such that machines can be up there? So we did that. But then, what are these machines? Well, we actually had to
This Jim is the DOS guy.
create something like the original operating system, like DOS,
Yeah, which you were involved in.
Yeah. And a couple years after that, Andrew S. Tannenbaum, who wrote the book Computer Networking, also wrote a
Sacred is profane. This is stepping on a lot of toes. It is stepping on a lot of toes, but agents are going to step on a lot of toes as well. And yeah, I agree. What you're talking about is there are massive industries built on top of the insecurity of the current internet. And if you all of a sudden throw in autonomous agents that can go take action on everyone's behalf, that's where that security vulnerability starts to become completely just unimaginable how bad it could be. And that's what he's trying to attack here.
A textbook called Distributed Operating Systems. There aren't any distributed operating systems. So what we needed.
Well, something like this could be used to start World War III. I think what he's talking about is this could also be used to prevent.
Was this huge history of the internet, IP infrastructure.
Listen to what he's saying.
And for somebody to come along, Autonoma and the Paranet, to build that overlay so now we can have distributed operating system. What that means is you have to have new machines. We're not taking new CPUs and GPUs and like that. We're talking about a new machine. It's called an actor. And this stuff goes all the way back to MIT and the early pure thinkers of AI. They thought about actors and planning languages. So we took the idea of actors and said, okay, what if every machine, every software, every API, every robot, every web page, every database, everything could be an actor? Like Paul was talking about with workflow management systems and robots and so forth. He was referring to, we need to get all these things on this new secure, trusted network. Again, it's the internet, it's IP infrastructure, but it's the Paranet. Paranet now is this overlay. And machines only talk to each other through this protocol now. Even though they're written in C or Python or whatever, doesn't matter. We can quickly actorize them, put them on a network. And when they're on that network, they can securely talk to each other.
We can quickly actorize them. So basically what they're talking about is creating like a metadata wrapper that points to something doing something down at a lower level.
In trust. We did a bunch of things around security that we can talk about another time, but
yeah, you want to keep Iran out.
So if you're all if anyone's new here, I see Jason came in. Who dis and what have we been talking about tonight? So what we're talking about tonight is David Shapiro's basically said that the main problem with agents is how do you take this smart brain, this LLM, this brain in a jar that's not really connected to anything, and right now currently requires our expertise to make it work. And how do you solve how does it decide what to do problem? And what Shapiro argues is that problem has effectively been cracked. And once that's released on the world, once you solve that for one agent, you've effectively solved it for all agents. So that was the first thing we talked about. This is a guy that has been in the business for years, effectively proposing or has built a protocol layer called the Paranet that sits on top of the current internet technology stack and is a coordination layer that coordinates between objects and functions of everything that's happening on the internet. So that's what he's talking about.
Out of your network.
Yeah, but yeah, we want to. The problem with the whole internet right now, if something gets on your network, if it gets through zero trust security, you're done, right? You have to start over.
Right.
The Paranet says if you're using the protocol, if a node gets infected, the network realizes it's bad and gets rid of it. So we call that negative.
So that's an important thing right there, right? In the current internet, if you're hacked and someone gets into your system, it's done. What he's saying is if you're operating at this Paranet level and someone grabs a node, the system will be smart enough to know that node is fucked up, and it'll actually just shut it out of the swarm.
Negative trust security. So to answer your question, why do we need a network? Because trillions of machines are coming.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to be printing machines, right? And they have to talk to each other, and they all have to work together. But the only way to do that is through an overlay and a exclusive, protected, secure, trusted collaboration protocol. And this protocol is pretty cool because it actually does Q&A. So machines are doing Q&A with each other. So everything's going to get more intelligent.
Hey, don't doubt every single thing he's saying. So here's the thing. This is likely a private company. He's trying to spin up a protocol layer, but this is clearly a commercial entity, right? So whether or not this thing ends up being a protocol, whether or not this thing ends up even launching, I don't know. I don't know where this is. The reason I'm showing this is that there is fairly significant work being done on the orchestration layer. So if the current frontier model companies solve the how do we use this smart brain we have in a jar problem, and you have something like this that can start to coordinate it, things are going to accelerate very fast. He's spouting nonsense, Kyle. I have actual credentials for this type of thing. Yeah, but it's not binary. Just because he said DOS was the original operating system, I assume he meant for for PCs rather than mainframes and minis and things like that. I get your point, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because this isn't necessarily just this specific guy and this specific company. There are probably lots of folks doing this, but one of the questions I've always had is, if you introduce billions of things onto the internet with lots and lots of different protocols, how do you coordinate all that? And so that's okay. So whatever. If you want to listen to Pate, and what I'm showing you is completely useless.
All the AI and agentic frameworks, all that stuff you hear about agents, they all need some place to talk. Robots need a place to talk. But the weird thing about robots is that they are in the OT side of the world, not the IT side of it. Right? OT is where all the hard engineering goes, the electrical engineers. They now need a place. Well, how do I put this in your warehouse? How do I put this in your factory?
Yeah.
Well, you got to do network. You got to security. No, you don't. Just put it on the Paranet. It discovers everybody else out there. They're all secure and they run. So that's.
This is like air traffic control for the internet. Well, it's like air traffic control above the internet. Like, yeah, it's not a bad thing where you've got, planes landing on the internet, right? So you've got robots and software and all sorts of things doing all this stuff down at the internet level. And this is saying, how do you get those things to talk to one another?
The Paranet in a nutshell.
Wow. This has deep implications on the future of everything, doesn't it?
Well, because as humans,
just like SMTP had deep
yes,
implications.
exactly.
That was one of our original thoughts. It was SMTP basic protocols, but start with security. Everything is secure from the beginning to the end. Sorry, Jim.
Email was never secure. The web wasn't really secure until they put S on it, but the horses left the barn, so bad things happen. But you need more than just encryption. You need a trusted network that's intelligent. You need security actors on your network that are looking at all the other actors doing the work. And so you need to be able to have a programmable network that's intelligent, that can know what's going on. One of the biggest problems in networking, particularly in data centers, is just setting up routing tables. There's millions of hours every day being spent setting up your router tables to your switches, your network. On the Paranet and this new protocol, of course, you still have routing tables, you have routers and your switches, but you're on this new semantic layer now. Now all the actors, these new machines, they don't go through routing tables. They just say, here's my skills, here's what I could ask. And then all the different nodes with all the actors and all the skills, they all discover each other, and no one gets to ask a question they're not able to ask.
Yeah.
And that's how you create security and trust going forward.
Now I'm here because I'm trying to get ahead of Elon Musk. Yesterday I met a voice company, and he immediately announced a new Grok with multi-party voice to respond, right? And it's hard to get ahead of that, man.
Right.
Let's say he's building a Paranet of his own to run his autonomous car network and his robots.
Right. So he has a vertical network.
Why does he need to throw all that away and come and see you?
No one needs it. We're not saying throw anybody.
Overlay, augment, extend. Yeah. So why would he need to come and see you and learn about Paranet, learn about this new networking protocol to integrate with the Tesla system he's building?
So Tesla is, he's all about autonomy, right?
Yeah.
So he's doing humanoid robots, Optimus. He's doing. You came here in a robot car.
I did.
Right?
My robot drove me here.
Right. So that's on a network. But the thing is, nothing that humans build is truly autonomous. It has to be on some sort of network with information, orchestration, collaboration, workflow planning, and observation, right?
Yeah.
So we built a generic version of whatever he built that has those 5 properties. Again, orchestration, workflow, collaboration, planning, and observation. So we built a network that you can do that. So you could build the Tesla network on the Paranet. You don't need to because he's already done it. But if you need to build an autonomous system for your factory, for your warehouse.
Yeah, someone just made a comment about beta, VHS versus beta. Yeah, I mean, this is so here's the thing. This is a guy that's talking about, building the protocols to be able to make VHS, right? And Tesla's doing the same thing he's done over at, or Elon Musk is doing this over at Tesla. Those are going to be competing protocols. Does this guy end up winning? I don't fucking know. Does Elon Musk end up winning? He'll probably at least be in the game, right? But someone has to crack this layer. And what I was surprised by is how far how far down the road this particular version seems to be. That's a generalized protocol. Now, one of the hardest things to do in the world is introduce a new protocol, right? How do you get people to adopt your protocol? Well, that's VHS versus.
You would use us.
There's going to be a lot of failures.
You use Tesla's network.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's using for his humanoids, but you probably should use something like the Paranet.
Yeah.
Because we built it to allow robots to become actors in the network. The thing that people don't realize.
Now, assuming he has a Paranet himself, because he's building stuff like that to have his robots work together and his autonomous cars work together and figure out where they're supposed to be to pick up a ride or stuff like that. Can you hook his Paranet into your Paranet? And now they could.
Because ours is a higher level. Ours is layer 8.
Okay.
I'm just going to say it. We needed a layer above 7. It's 8. Here we are. We're at this layer. He's not doing layer 8. He can certainly plug into that.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And that explains how a Ford could join their robots into the Tesla network, into the Paranet, right?
Yeah.
Working with the robots I'm about to see up in front of the home, right?
Yeah. And so then, this is not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
So we're partnering with Accenture.
Right. So here's the. Hey, we're just a humble startup trying to write a new protocol. This is not going to happen overnight. Means that this is somewhere between vaporware and something, right?
And if you listen to all the stuff that Accenture's been talking about at CES, it's all about autonomy and AI and trust and people working with AI systems together and agents.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Paranet. I mean, that's what it is. So that's why we're partnering with them, working through this. And it's very early. Like we just,
we don't. Yeah. There's only a few thousand humanoid robots in the world. There will be many millions.
Yes.
Soon.
If you ask.
Yeah. So his company, I forget what his company's called. His company has partnered with Accenture. So this is backstage at CES 2 days ago, where Accenture did this Warehouse of the Future demo that all of the robots were coordinated on this Paranet protocol.
You asked Musk, it's even more than that.
I did ask Musk. I asked him for his spreadsheet, actually, predicting how many robots he's going to sell. Yeah. And he said, you don't need a spreadsheet. It's going to be so fucking many of them. Because we were talking about people with bad knees, and just that one little tiny market, 60 million people who have bad knees, they need a robot to help them out, right? Yeah. Just that one little sliver. So I wanted the spreadsheet he has to predict all the markets, right? Because he has something like that. Yeah. I mean, he has Grok, that knows everything. At least the
doesn't know about the Paranet yet, but it soon will.
Oh,
after this.
As soon as I post this video up, Grok will know all it needs to know.
As soon as you put it up, then you can
ask. That's an interesting thing. Talk to Grok. What does Grok need to know?
Elon just needs to ask Grok, hey, what should I be doing with the Paranet?
No, Grok needs to know what it needs. What does Grok need to know to hook into the Paranet?
Yeah.
So what are the API calls that Grok needs to know? More to come.
When we publish a dev kit, Grok will be all over.
Yeah, and Paranet is we're on the web with Grok Flan.
When we publish a dev kit, so they don't have a dev kit yet. So I assume this is really well thought out, probably some papers, probably some stuff that's not thought out, to Pate's point, probably spit and duct tape at this point. So I don't know how far in they are.
In Paranet.
You'll find it at paranet.ai and autonoma.com.
Autonoma.com, paranet.ai and autonoma.com.
TONOMA.
Okay. And does this cost money to integrate right now? What's your business model for Paranet?
Right now, you're in the back room on CES, right? You're in the back here, right? This is where you kind of.
This is the dirty room.
This is where we make the sausage.
They never like to let the press back here because it's dirty.
We're not supposed to talk.
See, he's even shaking his head.
We're working through various models right now, right? Yeah. So what we want to do is some combination.
We don't know our pricing
of open source and licensing, such that we make it easy for the world to use this. One of the things we did was we went and we got ARPANET.ai. And so we want the researchers of the world, all the universities, to be able to use this freely. And ARPANET was really the beginning of sharing information across the world. ARPANET.ai will be distributed intelligence on a Paranet network that's run by researchers. So we're going to make that free of everyone. And then For Paranet, it's really kind of like a licensing world with a certain amount of bandwidth on the network. Haven't worked out that perfectly yet, but basically, we have a distributed network operating system. Every node is out there. If you're using it commercially, that'll be a license. And then how much bandwidth, how many actors with how many skills are being, interacting at any point in time, kind of like a network fee. So still working through that, still early. We haven't got our dev kit out. We'll have that in a few months. And then you can put that on a grok.
Yeah, a few months from a dev kit, right? So these guys are early. So because they have a good team, they partnered with Accenture. They might even have partnered with Accenture to help build some of this shit. So anyway, that's what's going on. All right. Enough comedy jokes. So there you have it. I think those two things back to back, on the same day, they were significant for me. Here's the implication. Independent of whether or not Paranet, as that guy described it, is his thing or some other thing. One of the things that I have not been able to wrap my head around is how do you introduce millions or billions of autonomous agents into an insecure environment like the internet without it being absolute fucking chaos. It's got to be solved. And I think individual companies are going to solve it on their own. So OpenAI is going to have their version. Grok's going to have its version, Tesla and all that are going to have their version. Meta's going to have their version. The Chinese are going to have their version. How do all those things talk to one another? This is the first thing I've heard that I start to say, okay, I can at least see conceptually how you could create a layer above what exists right now, which feels like an abject fucking nightmare. All right. Windows is still basically the disk operating system. Sacred is profane. You may be splitting hairs. Pate, for better or worse. That's my whole shtick. I mean, listen, Pate is it's all about definitions and clarity. I am about muddiness and what's possible. So I think that's why having Pate here is a really good voice, a really good balance to my optimism and fuzziness. But here's the point. The point and the reason that I shared. Let me go back and show you where it is. The reason that I shared this document. So if you go to the AI Salon, I put this I put a post of this in the code show and tell section. I put this in Pate's club, and I put this in the water cooler conversation. So this is a document that I did today using Google Deep Research of AI agents broken into three categories: no code, low code, and developer focused platforms. You don't necessarily have to go build agents. You don't have to necessarily dig deep into this, but I feel that right now, just like building custom GPTs was a good augmentation to understanding prompting and ChatGPT in general, understanding what agents are as they are today and understanding what their limitations are today is going to allow you to be as prepared as possible for the thing that David Shapiro described, which is basically once one shows up, the dominoes fall very, very quickly. And it seems to me, unless everyone's fucking lying, that first domino is going to fall in 2025. And there might be multiple dominoes that fall in 2025. It could be 2026, but even if it's 2026, that's mighty fucking close for for a series of technologies being unleashed on the world that can do many people's jobs, do the jobs, not just do parts of the jobs that require the human to be there, but do their jobs. So like, I kind of feel like 2024 was the year, 2023 was the year we got excited. 2024 was the year we got to take a breath and sort of take in what was unleashed on the world. 2025 feels to me like the year where shit's getting serious. And so why I wanted to talk about this tonight is I want people to, I would strongly encourage you, if you haven't been paying attention to agents, just start paying attention to them. Do your best to sift the wheat from the chaff. And if you've got a little curiosity and geekiness in you, come play with this list and just go look at what these platforms are and what they claim they can do, right? Even if you just see that, just what do they claim they can do? There's also a bunch of open source things out. There's one that was just talked about. I think it scrapes Reddit and does some shit for you that's been open sourced in the past 3 or 4 days. They're starting to get pretty interesting. And if you're one of those people that knows how to turn loose an agent as soon as the platforms are available, you might get a competitive head start on, you know, whatever you're trying to do in the world. So, all right, with that, questions, thoughts. Ion China, the impression I get is GPTS went nowhere, generally speaking. I've still not made a custom GPT. I'm introducing a hypothetical agent on Wednesday. Oh, are you for real, Kakif? Or is that just a joke? Because right now I'm in hypothetical land. But here's the thing. I don't think we're going to be in hypothetical land that much longer. All right, fantastic. 2025, the year of disruption. Yeah, it's like, yeah, to say the least. Kyle, as I said earlier, can we all hide in a blanket fort in your living room for a while? Daisy May, that is the appropriate sentiment. The appropriate sentiment from where I sit is, listen, a lot of what I'm talking about tonight still lives in the realm of chat TMZ, right? Which drives Pate fucking crazy. A lot of what I'm talking about is speculation, but there's enough indicators that this might not just be hype. There's enough indicators that, yeah, in 2025, some shit's going to drop that fundamentally changes the game. And yeah, I feel like an appropriate response to that is, I want my dookie. Give me a hot chocolate, my dookie, and a warm blanket. I'm just going to sit out the next 3 years. I think that's an appropriate response. And if you want to be prepared, if you want to not be blindsided by this stuff, then I think it's worth putting time into this. So there you go. Jim Ross, this makes my head hurt, but it's amazing. I know. But Jim Ross, so okay. So where you are right now with lovable.dev. So Jim Ross is, if you don't know Jim Ross, awesome dude. He's got a self-storage business called 3 Mile Storage, where he helps people run storage businesses, right? Where they own storage unit businesses. And in the past week, he sent me 2 different applications that he's written with lovable.dev, where he's like, oh my God, like the one thing you said was you wanted to do this a year or 2 ago, and the dev that you met with said it would be a minimum of $5,000, and you did it in a couple of hours, right? Or an hour or whatever it was. And then you sent me the next application you wrote like the next day, right? So this agent stuff right now is head spinny. We don't quite get it kind of stuff, but at some point there will be some version of an agent spinner upper that'll be like lovable.dev. Like, we will be able to use these things quite easily. Like, it may take a year or 2 to get the the systems, or to get the right company to introduce the right interface for it. But I think that it's coming really fast. And like for your business, Jim, it could be, rather than having to hire a manager to go manage all of your different properties, you could have, a suite of agents go manage all of your properties, right? So you could literally become a one-man show that's managing, dozens of properties around the country. Is possible. Oh, good Lord. All right. Appropriate response, push the pink bow button.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
My GPTs are obsolete already. Where are you all posting your music but beyond the salon? If it's good enough, I put Quantum Cipher on Spotify. I just put it up there as a song. One-man show, that's the plan. Exactly. Looks like Cosmic Lovers on a roll to get someone hired, which is awesome. Gonna hire from the salon. Fantastic. Love that. Yeah, I would say posting your music on the salon's good. I know that there's at least one. There's probably like 5 now. I would go on futurepedia.io and see if you can find, like, is someone creating a Spotify for AI music? I personally think that's a limited model, because I don't think it's going to be that much longer that we can actually distinguish between AI music and music. Like it's either good music or it's not. But I think short term, there are probably going to be platforms that are like, post your AI music here and we'll create the Spotify for AI music. I'm sure there's a bunch of those out there. In fact, I kind of remember there being 1 or 2 of them. All right. I'm putting my music on United Artists. There you go. It goes to a ton of platforms that way. I don't think people can tell very well today. Have I watched Megalopolis? I have not watched it yet. I've been listening to other users' music in Suno. What's his name? Jay. He was in our prototyping meeting today. He's using XML in Suno. Here, I'll just show you this quick. Where did he send it? I think I've got it. Frostbitten. So here's this song. Look at the prompt for this song, or the lyrics. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Here, let me make it bigger. Well, you can't really see it too good. But that's all XML. But it's like interval 4101 drop outro. So he's sort of setting up different modules, and then he defines the patterns. So interval 1 has those musical patterns. Interval 2 has those musical patterns. Number 1, feel, soul, interactive, module, conform. And then in the lyrics of the song, he's dropping in when he wants different patterns. And he says this works, that it's generating songs that basically follow the XML recipe up above. So I'll share this in the salon. He might have already shared it there, but I think it's kind of cool. So I'll go to music and audio, and then I'll go from at Frostbitten, his zany XML music prompts. Check out the song and, in quotes, lyrics and then ask him how the hell he's doing this. I had ChatGPT analyze the XML, and it's not based on anything that I know. So it might be that he just came up with this idea and is having ChatGPT create a custom XML schema. But that's in the music and audio show and tell. There you go. All right, people. We don't need to notify everyone. It's getting late. I think it is time to get rolling. Rolling. Any final thoughts? Questions? Our students will be loaded up and securing AI certifications through our new AI course in high school. Very cool. Silver Fox, you are welcome. Thank you. AI machine learning, dude. Frostbitten, can't wait to see. Yeah, it's cool. I want to get my head around it. But I also, what's amazing about the Frostbitten's approach to Suno is he's taking a full-on programming approach to it, and it's working. I take this sort of just vomit words at it and just keep vomiting words until I get it right. Like the breadth of how you can get results out of large language models and these tools, it's so wide. Like any way your brain works, so long as you're treating it like this collaborative interaction with these tools, you can get it to work. There's kind of an infinite number of ways to do it. Oh, I've vomited everything at it. Oh, that's funny. Frostbitten says that's awesome. Brandon, hey, I just landed. What did I miss? We spent the whole hour on Jelly Pod. No, we didn't. I call Suno a curation process. Oh my God. That thing I did today in Runway, trying to get those agent, those avatars looking like something not from a fucking nightmare. I mean, it was probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 generations per little segment I did. I am excited for these tools to be less janky, but the opportunity is the biggest opportunity is when the tools are the jankiest. Let me just leave you with that. If you're frustrated with the jank of AI right now, that means that you're in a good place, because it means you're early and your opportunity is bigger than you realize. All right. Yeah, the people that make fun of AI music because it's not real is silly. The people that make fun of AI music, I can promise you, have never made AI music, right? If you look at it from the outside, you can watch someone just go push a button and out comes music. And what the doomers contend is that that's what everyone's doing. Everyone's just being lazy. Most people are not being lazy that are trying to make music that's worth listening to. They're putting a lot of time into it. They're putting a lot of effort into it. They're putting a lot of production into it. It's just how you do that production is different than how we currently do it. But didn't we have the same shit when we went from, 8-track tape recorders to digital audio workstations and MIDI and sampling? I mean, fuck, sampling in the 80s? That's not music. That's just stealing other people's music, right? Like, we've been through this before. It's the same fucking shit. It's like, but whatever. This is fancier. This is fancier sampling. They're the same type of people that were saying electronica wasn't music 30 years ago. Exactly. The other thing that absolutely blows my fucking mind is that the same people that are afraid of AI replacing them are like, well, then there's, if it's this good, then there's clearly no place for artists. It's like bullshit. The whole point of an artist, like, what is an artist? An artist is someone who looks at the same world that you and I see, and they see it differently, right? So artists are going to look at the same AI tools that you and I see, and they're going to look at them differently. And they're going to go, oh, what if I did this with it? And then what if I took that and combined it with this? And then they're going to make a thing that the rest of us are going to like go, wait, what is that? I've never seen that before. Right. Because an artist put their point of view into using these tools. That doesn't go away. Like I like the fucking simplicity. I just feel like the political dialogue, because it's so binary, has kind of set us up with this binary AI good, AI evil. It is much more fucking gray than that, right? Much more fucking gray than that. So anyway, and artists are more important than ever. So anyone that tells you they're not clearly isn't using this shit. All right. Woo! Corey Sandler, artiste extraordinaire, looking at things a bit differently, a different box. Exactly. I mean, you should have seen when we were all off building custom GPTs. Corey Sandler's GPTs were fucking insane. Well, they still are. Crazy glasses designers and just like, you know, artists are artists. Artists will do things differently. So, and artists are still required. It's about thinking outside the box. Yeah, it's about looking at the world and having the confidence in who you are to know what you want, and then just go get these tools to do that for you. All right, Kyle, please. Yes, what? What am I? Let's see. Kyle, my boss, ask. Teenage engineers. I don't quite know what you're asking, Cosmic Lover. Just DM me offline. We'll talk about it tomorrow. All right, cool. I am going to get on out of here. Can Mr. ASMR make another appearance in TikTok? No, I think, well, so here's the thing. I made that video, the hey, are you scrolling? Because I get this same woman, like, I don't know, 2 times a week. Hey, are you scrolling? Same woman, same video. And I assume that everybody got that video, but they don't. Like, so I made that video, and I think most people didn't understand it unless you're an irregular. Check Teenage Engineering Sampler. Okay, I'll check it out. Archetypal Architect. If you like carpentry, got an AI replacement, I'd be like, cool, a new tool. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, cool. All right, beautiful. Let's see. I got a video. That blocked it. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. I will see you tomorrow. So wait, tomorrow's Tuesday. Nothing's going on. It'll be same bat time, same bat place. So 8 p.m. tomorrow. I don't think there's anything going on, but I don't have a producer telling me. All right. All right. Cosmic Lover, we'll do that tomorrow. And because I don't want to start something new, especially if I haven't seen it before. I don't want to start something new and run down a 30 or 45-minute rabbit hole right at the end here. All right. Peace out. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to talk about. No, not right now. All right. Peace out, everybody.